What's up, everybody? It is Nigeria alongside of Zero, and today we have a special guest joining us. I hope he had by now a chance to not only check out our review, but got to check out this amazing experience. I know amusement parks may not be open, but if you are looking for that same type of joy, look no further, because on Shudder, Fryberry is now available. It was an entertaining film. We had a lot of fun with it, and we did not want to stop there. That's why today we have the director who is making his feature film debut in Ryan Kruger. He's joining us from South Africa. Ryan, how's it going today, buddy?
Hey, well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem at all. You have been taking no days off. I just did a quick little search because I had already mentally knew my questions, but your interviews are flourishing all over the internet.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. It's been very crazy.
I was just going to ask, like, how does it feel taking it all in, man? It's been a ride for sure.
Yeah, no, it's been, well, I mean, on Friday, you know, it premiered on Shudder, and that went to England, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and Ireland. And then obviously on Friday night in the US, it was on the Joe Bob's
the last ride driving.
Yeah, the last driving. So with that, it just, I mean, the last few months has just got busier and busier with press and stuff. But literally the last 5 days before before Friday was just getting crazier and crazier. And then on Friday, with the driving experience with Joe Bob, it just went viral. It just went nuts, and I couldn't even keep up with it. I was just like, while they were doing the show, I was like trying to speak to the fan, speak to the other host and everything, and it just got crazy. And then on Friday, it was in America. It was the third most talked about thing on Twitter on Friday.
That's right.
In America. So that's weird, very weird.
Look at you reading my notes there.
You think that's weird? You think that's weird.
Look at you taking our tidbits from our review. That's right. It's like, as soon as you thought that was weird, here comes the next thing in the film.
There's more.
But when I saw your guys' video, I had me and my producer James. We had such a laugh. It was I really enjoyed you guys talking about the film, and I was like, oh, you guys look like so much fun. And I said, great to chat to you guys. So it was cool.
I appreciate it, man. We did have so much fun watching it. I watched it about 3 times now. And it's funny because, like, no matter my mood, I found something to really enjoy about it. From just the critic standpoint, we had fun. From like I'm just going to put it on for dinner, and then like I can't sleep tonight, let me throw something on. It just works for all different things. It's such a good time. And I also got to add really quick too, like you said, yes, you top 5 nationally on Twitter Friday night as part of the last drive-in series. But like, you got to put this into context, folks. Like, while we were up at night on Twitter, which is 8, 9, 10 p.m., you were up at 5 a.m. interacting with people at home. That's dedication, man.
Yeah, it was 10 a.m. my time, so I didn't sleep. So at 4 o'clock, I said to myself, oh, I can't keep up with this, and I was just before the show started. So then I said to myself, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. It's 4 a.m.
Yeah, okay.
And then just as I went to go to bed, and that's when the whole Joe Bob driving started. So then it just exploded, and I was like, well, I can't go to bed now, can I? So then it was like I sat there till 10 a.m. and then I had 2 hours sleep, and then I was up again to like follow up on everything else. But yeah, it was just crazy. It was it was insane.
Wow. Twitter has had this man fried.
Fried
Sorry, bad joke. Gotta go.
But yeah, it's just it's like what you guys said. You guys really understood the movie. You know, you just got to sit back and have fun with it. You can't take it too seriously. You know what I mean. It is a fun movie. It's designed to make you feel a certain way. It's designed to take you on this trip. The story is easy. The story's about a heroin addict that gets abducted by aliens, spat back out onto Earth, and it goes on the story. That's it. That's the story. And there's some people who watch it and go, "Oh, there's no major story." And I was like, "That's it. The story. It's not about the story. It's about this whole experience of being you as Barry or with Barry doing this trip. And if you don't go into this film open-minded, you're probably going to have a bad trip and be like,
exactly.
yeah, fucking shit, this film. So and that's the thing. So that's what it is. But I knew that from the start. It's one of those films you either love or you hate. You either get it or you don't. And if you don't get it, it's okay. It's fine. It's like if everybody liked the same films, then life would be pretty boring. And everybody's always got their certain taste of films. I've made it for a certain target market, but there's people outside of that target market that still enjoy it. It's just depending. Like on a Sunday when you want to chill and you just want to watch an easy movie. Okay, well that's not Fried Barry. That's like a very chilled, like I'm trying to think of one at the top of my head. I don't know, but just just a popcorn movie like Armageddon or whatever. You don't want to think about it, and you just want to zone out and just watch it. So yeah, Fried Barry's one of those type of films where you got to catch it at the right time. Can't be during the day. Can't be in the afternoon. It has to be a midnight screen. It has to be a late night screen, and otherwise. I mean, at Sitges, it screened at Sitges Film Festival in Spain.
Huge.
The only bad thing about that, the Sitges was amazing. Absolutely love to go back there. The only bad thing about Sitges was the jury that watched it. For the screening to judge the movie, they watched it at like 8 a.m. And I was like, you can't watch this film at 8 a.m. I can't even watch the film at anytime until after like 6 o'clock. You can't watch Fried Barry at 8 a.m. That's probably the worst film to watch in the world at 8 a.m. So that's
hilarious. If you can't responsibly crack open a beer when you're watching this movie, just wait. Just give it a minute.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with cracking open a beer at 8 a.m. depending.
All right.
Also true. Also,
here we go.
We want people to enjoy this movie. You have to crack open a beer. You have to take some drugs. No, I'm joking. But it's just that it's that experience. It's that experience. You don't need to take drugs to watch this movie.
Absolutely.
This is a drug. While you're
exactly.
watching it,
Yeah. I definitely want to give my props to Shudder because they always seem to really give a really array and really diverse selection of horror films. And I remember, I forget the name of the film right now, but it was another film that came out earlier last year that just wasn't your typical film. And I knew something was up with this film because I had got a little nut saying, oh, you might want to check this out. Because I think somebody knew the type of films that I like. And I will say, like, it was held to really high regard. Like, this is one of the ones where it's like, you got to review this. Like, you're gonna like that. And it called to me. It connected to me. It connected to her, and like we just had a good time with it. And like, that's always our message in reviewing things. Is like sometimes you have to understand what is the film's audience. What's the film trying to do here? And the film from the very beginning was essentially saying have fun. And the moment you start thinking too hard and trying to make it all serious.
Well, that's the thing.
You lost.
You can't over analyze it, and it's like an artist when a singer could write a song and everybody's like, I think it means this.
Yeah,
and then the singer's like, what are you talking about? I just went out on Saturday night and then the next day I wrote it and that's it. So it's like, don't think like somebody could look at this and go, I wonder what the fuck is going on in Ryan's head. He must have took a shitload of drugs. He must have done this, and I'm like when my parents watched it, and and then like my uncle and he lives in South Africa, and he went to the screening in Johannesburg, and he said to me, I said, do you want to go watch my film? But I know you're not going to like it because he's like the furthest away target market, like to watch my film. He's like quite conservative. And I was like, and I said, it's cool if you don't come, it's okay. And he's like, no, like I'll come and check it out. And I was like, you won't like it. And he goes, oh, you don't know if I won't like it. I said, you're guaranteed won't like it, but just check it out. And then he watched it, and then I was chatting to my dad. My dad was on like speakerphone talking to my uncle. And my dad said, hey, so how was Ryan's film? And he goes, "Oh shit!" and then I shouted, I said, "Hey, Uncle Giovanni, why you saying my film shit?" And then he's like, "Oh no," and he's like starts to backpedal, and I was like,
Right.
"It's okay, it's all right. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely not for everybody, and you are the furthest away target market.
Yeah.
Like I knew you wouldn't like this. I told you wouldn't like this. So, but I'm pretty sure they probably see me in a different light now after that movie, you know."
This flick was such a good time, and I really see the selective audience here. Of course, this is definitely my type of movie, I will say, but you know, trending on Twitter in a way that this film has been means that you're breaking borders right now, and I think it's really cool because this is the kind of movie that I want to show my friends. I want, like, dude, you got to experience this, but I know that it's not everyone's cup of tea. But it's spilling over right now, which is a really cool thing, and I'm hoping you know, people can kind of lose their technical way of thinking with films in order to just enjoy the movie. And
you just
I
gotta be
think it's a good
open-minded,
place.
you know.
Yeah.
You can't overthink. I mean, we live in a day and age now where you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do that, you can't do that. And at the end of the day, it's just a movie. It's just characters. It's just a movie. Don't take life so seriously, you know. And that's the thing. I think Frybar is one of those films where it's such a great film to watch with a group of people. You know, it's a great film to watch with a. That's why, like, you know, at some of the festivals at the cinemas, you know, it was so great to sit there and watch all these people, you know, laughing at all the right moments and stuff like that. So it is really much about the experience, and I think it's and you know, the whole thing with Twitter now, and I think Shudder's like the perfect home for it.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
So I do have to ask, because there still was a big level of responsibility, finances, I would assume, and just hard work into making this from a short to a feature length. And I just kind of want to know, you know, beyond the success that the short got, when did the light bulb go off and say, like, I need to do more with this? Because, like I said in the review, that's not always a seamless thing. Some people do success with their shorts, and it's just that. And although the fans want more, it may not happen. But how and when did you know you had to make this a feature length, and kind of what was the steps that you had to take in order to execute this?
Yeah, well, I mean, with, you know, when I did the short, so it's kind of where it was in my life at the time. So I normally shoot narrative music videos and commercials and short films. You know, I've tried to do a feature many times now, and it ends up just not working out, not happening. And so I decided to do a project to make 8 experimental films, which I'm still busy with now. And it just happens to be that the first experimental was Frybar the Short. So that did really well, but it was never ever designed to be a feature film. It was just a standalone thing, but it did well. We got random fan art. We got it just did really well. So that kind of probably stayed at the back of my head. But Frybar is literally born out of frustration of where I was in my life at the time. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I've always wanted to make a feature. I've always wanted to do it. And it's, you know, and the type of stuff that I want to make, you know, South Africa is quite conservative, and the stuff that I want to do, like Frybar is like definitely the first of its kind out of South Africa, without a doubt, which is amazing. But it's to make the stuff that I want to make. It's like, I know my target market, I know who can sell it to, and all that. But it's just like, it's actually getting the funding and getting to make what you want to make.
Yeah.
So where I was in my life at the time, I went through like a hectic, very crazy, dark time. I took a shitload of drugs. No, I'm only joking. I literally, I had something wrong with my kidney, undrug related. I had something wrong with my kidney. I got sepsis. I had an operation, got sepsis, nearly died, broke up with my girlfriend at the time. My cat got cancer, and I just went into depression, went down this dark hole. And while I was at the bottom, I was just like, what is the number one thing that I've always wanted to do? And it was to make a film. And I have all these other scripts lying around and what I could have, shot, what I could make. And just the one night, it just came to me, and I was like, oh, this is the one. This is the idea. I know. And what drove me more to it was, and I don't know, everything just like turned on and knew straight away, this is the right one to do. And the difference between all the other scripts that I had, that I knew this was original. I knew that, I could be very creative and open with it. And because there was no script, that was the thing. Originally, there was no script. So as soon as I got this idea, I wrote a 50% brief scene breakdown, and then from there, I just started to develop it as we were shooting. I started to write all the dialogue, but nothing was set in concrete. So it was open. Like if I got an idea, I could like, cool, I want to do this. If while we were shooting, I had time, in between shooting, because we shot it over a period of time. So at least I knew, okay, I've got this, I still need this, and I still need that. But when I got the idea, after those 3 days, I literally rang my producer that I only knew for about a month or a month and a half. And I said, I want to make a movie and I want to make it next month. And he was like, why do you want to make it next month? And I was like, because if we don't make it next month, it ain't never going to happen. It's just going to get pushed back and pushed back. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm making it next month. You're either in or you're out. He's like, cool, I'm in. And he also asked me, do I have a script? And I was like, no, but we'll talk about that. And it was literally a month later, we started shooting, and and then that was it. So, and then from there, once the film was made, we took it to the festivals. One big festival got hold of it, and it just was a domino effect off that. And then, and then everything fell into place with the sales agent, and Shudder, came on board and everything. And it was just, it was just like perfect timing. Even like we had the world premiere at CineQuest in San Jose. And it was literally a week and a half before lockdown. So when this happened, I was like, oh man, I make my first fucking movie and then it's just going to fucking bomb and just go nowhere. And it was completely the opposite, because everybody started doing this online film festivals and stuff like that. So instead of getting 300 to 600 people in a cinema screening, then it was 4,000, it was 4,000 to 5,000 per festival. And that created buzz, that created talk, and it just spiraled out of control. But it just worked out. But I think you guys can see as well, and people when they watch this film, like we had a lot of fun making this film. Like it was a lot of fun.
That's a hell of an origin story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I won't wish bad on anybody, but I mean, if you gotta take a little bit of a detour to go back down that path in order for us to get another one, I mean, we'll be right at the finish line waiting for you. But in all honesty, like, this is, as it now comes to be a passion project for you. It just makes it much more enjoyable, and like you're putting smiles on people's faces, and you're getting people excited to be back in the cinemas again. And the pandemic is slowly, it's here, but like we're slowly trying to find a way to some form of a normal way of life. But like this film reminds us of the fun that we used to have out in there. Like, I didn't know that it went down like this in South Africa. I mean, when you think about places like Las Vegas, Tijuana, Amsterdam, it looks like Cape Town is another place that people need to be targeting for some fun.
I laughed because when I was watching your guys' video, I laughed because you were like, and this is the thing, most people, when they've seen Fry By, they're like, I've probably ruined it for like South African Cape Town tourism. I completely probably ruined that, because everybody, like you guys, are like, I don't want to go there. That's one place. If that's how it is, I don't want to go there. And the funny thing is, like, Cape Town is a very, very, very beautiful place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it in the movie, but it's a very beautiful place. And the funny thing is, we have a lot of, in the film industry, we're more of a service country in a sense of, we have lots of commercials from overseas that get shot here, a lot of overseas movies that get shot here. And it's because we have so many amazing locations. And when the majority of people come here to South Africa and to Cape Town, they pick it because of all the amazing locations we have. So I also shown Cape Town in probably the worst way, in the darkest side of things, because nobody does that. So that was the thing that was just like, and and when people watch it, they're like, oh yeah, it's like dodgy. I don't want to go there. We've already got bad enough press in South Africa for people going on holiday, and now they're like, yeah, I definitely don't want to go there. Might bump into like people like Barry and stuff like that. But then the thing is that the thing is, like, no matter where you are in the world, we have those dodgy bars, we have those dodgy streets, and that's the thing, and that's why, like, somebody could look at it and go, yeah, this film's like so fucking unrealistic. He just meets all these random, people, and it just gets worse. But that's what the whole thing is, and that's why I always laugh, because these aliens abducted this guy. It could have been a guy that works 9 till 5. It could have been this normal dude. Would have been a completely different movie. He could have picked up this dude that works 9 to 5, and he gets abducted. But they just picked the worst person to abduct. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And because he's this heroin addict and junkie, then he's got his junkie mates, and the area that he lives in, it's just full of all these bad things. So he takes all the wrong roads. He takes all the wrong roads, meets all the wrong people, and he's already just before he's been abducted, he's already like taking heroin, and then he takes more drugs, and and it's just elevates throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But what was your guys' favorite scene?
Woo! That killed me. I had it. I had freaking had it. It broke me down. But in all seriousness, I do love.
Don't just lay there, Barry.
This is like Najir and I's like favorite inside joke now. Just like woo into his like chat every now and then. But I really liked, and this feels so weird saying that I liked this part. But when Barry is being spoilers, when Barry's being held captive by this other crazy guy, and he's the one who's the cause of this children disappearing all over the area, and you kind of that's the moment that I was like rooting for Barry from that point on, and I'm like, okay, this alien abduction is like the best thing that ever could have happened to this dude.
Yeah, exactly. It made, but that's the thing. It made him the alien was the nicer person.
Yeah.
And that's why his wife is like, oh, he's really trying. He's really trying to be good. He's really trying hard at this relationship. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's just like it's not your deadbeat husband. It's somebody.
Yeah.
It's somebody else,
And that's the part that I started rooting for Barry. Like,
yeah.
Before that, I was just kind of like, man, what is going on? And then at that point, it was like a game for me. It's like, I want Barry to win. Save your marriage, Barry. Save these children, Barry. But I also really liked the whole sequence in the mental hospital of his breakout with the other zany characters. All of these secondary characters are so good. And I don't know where you found these people, but they're amazing. They're hilarious. They're authentic. And the contrast was just awesome. That might have been a peak for me, that hospital scene. His comrades around him just controlling the situation in a very tighter grip than it had earlier in the movie was really, guess you're right here. And
but awesome. But that's the other thing. It's like the design of the movie. It's like I've said this a few times, and a few people have picked up on it. It's very much like have you guys watched Uncut Gems?
Oh, totally, absolutely.
So that's what I just think. It's like the whole time. Like when I watch that movie, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, and then I'm shouting at the screen, going, "Why is he doing that? Why is he fucking doing that?" And that was the thing with Barry. It's also designed to be, it's like this fly that's just like buzzing at you the whole time, and you go, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like that, like that the whole time. And it's just like, somebody tapping you on your shoulder constantly going, all right. And it's just going, and it's only those few breathers. And that's why the second half of the film is very different to the first half. So
Okay.
you have that intermission, and you have that
Thank
little
you
breather.
for that, by the way, because we really needed it.
Yeah.
Everybody's just sitting on the screen like this guy. Yeah,
Exactly.
I need it. And that was it. So it's like when it comes to the hospital, and it's these like little breathers, just so you can just like have that like little breath of fresh air, and then think, yeah, I can't get worse than this, and then it just does, And that was, again, that's just like the feel and the tone. Because even when the movie starts and he gets abducted and he goes to the club and he goes back to that girl's house, you see the tone of the film is you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
We don't know this alien character, and is he going to do something to this woman? Is he going to kill her? Like, what is he going to do? And that's the whole. Like, I try my best to make it unpredictable. Because I mean, when we watch movies, we know, dude, like every film's like the same. It's either going to go here or it's going to go there.
Yep.
So I try my best to go, just do that U-turn and go somewhere else. So it's not that you don't expect it. And I thought that was cool that we did that nobody had no idea where this film is going, but not in a bad way, in a way that it's just unpredictable. I mean, because this is why I say, like, you either love it or you hate it, this type of film, but you don't know, when I mean, how many films do we watch where you watch it and you'll say to yourself, I never watch that again, or you watch 10 minutes and you just don't watch it, you'll just turn it off, and you don't even speak to anybody about it because it's not worth the conversation. So whether you love this film or hate this film, maybe you appreciate something in this film, but there's no doubt about it that if you've seen this film, you will speak about this film.
Yeah,
and
not
that's
a question.
Thing. And that's the thing, and I think that's the beauty of it. And even like somebody can look at stuff and go, it's the shock value, we put this in there. And for me, it's like, I mean, it's like somebody saying to you, what film scares you? And you're like, well, I was, I'm a full grown adult. This doesn't scare, this doesn't scare me or whatever. Or it's like when I was a kid, this scared me or whatever. But it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like when he gets abducted and then the thing goes down his thing and all that. It's just like we hear about that so many times, but we never see it. So I'm just like, what am I showing? I was like, it's only a dick. It's only so what? So what? So it's not that. It's not for me. It's really not. There's a shock factor. It's just like, yeah, we've all got one. So it's just like we're just going to really show it what happens. And
I mean, this is what happens. Poked and prodded. You're going to get abducted by aliens. You're going to get poked and prodded. Where do you expect they're going to put these things? Let's be real.
Some people might want to get abducted again after that. They'll be like, that's all right. I'll go back. You'll just see people waiting around in the street going, come on.
Come on. I appreciate you putting your pedal to the metal on everything. It was you were all the way in on it. I agree. Like, there was definitely times where, like, I remember when we were watching it, and I was like, oh, if he eats her Earl on the side of the curb, I was like, and he didn't, but it still was the idea, like, he might have done it, and then it was always everything was like, what would he do?
But that's the perfect example. Because when we did that, we thought about it, and then we thought, well, that's what everybody's going to expect him to do.
Yeah.
And that was the design, to just keep away from everything being completely like, he's probably going to do this and he's probably going to do that. Because that's the thing. It's like you look at the poster and you go, bad guy. He's definitely a bad guy. You know what I mean? And that's you look at that, and then you look at the trailer, and it's everything that is in the trailer. That is the film, but a hell of a lot more that you don't expect. And that's the same design of the film. Everything that you watch in it, you don't expect, and it turns all these, and at the same time, it's got a lot of heart. With his wife and stuff like that. I mean, she's the heart of the movie, and there's a lot of, I mean, we show the dark side of humanity, and we show that it's society that's crazy, and not, you know what I mean. So it's not the alien that's crazy. It's all, it's like what you said. It's all it's everybody, you know, it's everybody else. And when you're a fly on the wall looking at humanity, like, well, fuck, is that how we look like? You know, it's like, it's like, it's like, when it's somebody's birthday and somebody's got a camera, and that day you like dressed up and you go, oh, look all right, I look actually look all right today. And then somebody's filming it, and then you watch the video back and you go, wow, I look fucking awful.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and you just like, oh, edit me out of that one, or just don't send me that. Don't put that one online.
Yeah. So Zero, I think that answers your question then, because we were talking about what was the whole perception of humanity from this. That's the really other layer of this film, is that like what we assume, what we perceive humanity to be, but from seeing it from this lens, it's like, well, wait a minute. Maybe we are the crazy ones here.
That's definitely what I was thinking at the end, but now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't think that there would be any way somebody could come to this film with fresh eyes and not get that idea by the end of the film. Like, this whole thing we look insane. What?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the species doing?
Yeah, well, think about it. The aliens will probably had a little discussion, right? All right, so we're going to send you down. Let's check out Earth, see what it's like. Report back to us. Just gather all the information, and you're an alien tourist on holiday. Just have fun, get the information. So obviously, abduct the guy, and they're like, when he's gone back, they'll be like, so they just take drugs the whole time. They just have
yep.
That's all they do, and they just shout at each other. And
I would love to know what whoever was possessing Barry's body. I want to know what they reported back to their people so bad. I want the whole manuscript. That's probably insane.
So two other questions to kind of round things off. Number one, we got to talk about Gary Green, who plays Barry in this. I want to know, I know he's not a trained actor, but this is a very unique situation here. This is one of those ones where we kind of got to look towards you and tip our ass and say, well, how did you position somebody who's not a trained actor to succeed in this matter? I thought his performance looked very trained, capturing the mannerisms and turning it off when needed too. Because I mean, I know you filmed in sections, but like even between some of those scenes, like how do you keep a straight face when you have somebody straddling you and they say, make some noise, and you're just like, woo, and it's like I bust out laughing, like but like again, it's really towards your job in order to make sure people are in positions to succeed and to really bring your picture to life. So by the way, that's just me really pitching a shot to cast us in something soon, because hit us up, we're free. But no, seriously, like, yeah, how did you position them in a place, and what's sort of your relationship into having them a part of your film?
Yeah, so I mean, I've worked with Gary now for about 11 years, and I always put him as so Gary's background is he was an extra, and the odd time he gets like little featured parts and stuff like that, and he did a bit of stunt work back in the day, but. I put him in like little bits in music videos and stuff like that over the years, and then we did the short film. We did that short film together, and then like when I got the idea, I knew because Gary isn't a trained actor, and I know he would like overthink stuff. Because he's not a trained actor, I didn't want him to like try like rehearse anything or pre-plan anything. So, Gary didn't know anything about what we were shooting until on the day. So he knew what the film was about, and I needed that clean slate every single day, and not tell him anything, because he would overthink it, or he would try to prep for something, and then it would be harder for me to get all that crap out of it. To get exactly what.
That's brilliant.
So I did improv a lot with other actors, but Gary was the only one that didn't improv, because the movie relied on him, and he's the main thing in the movie. So it was a very big thing that I had to work super close with him to get exactly what I wanted. So I mean, the interesting thing was he his character mimics, all these people that he meets. And then at the same time, when I'm directing Gary, I'm on the side of the camera going, okay, now pull this face. Okay, now pull that face. Okay, now do this. I'll do that. And it was literally like the only thing I gave to Gary for a reference was I told him to watch Edward Scissorhands. I said, check out Edward Scissorhands, where you've got this guy, walking around, and and then it was a bit of the RoboCop walk, which Gary kind of walks like that anyway, but it was just like enhanced it. And in fact, when we were shooting one of the scenes, somebody like shouted, "Hey, RoboCop!" We were laughing our heads off. So that was funny.
That's such a great answer. I shit you not. I have written down. I wanted to ask you, how did you like direct this man to walk as if he's been abducted by an alien who may not be bipedal and suddenly ends up as a human? That's great. And
but it was funny because he's mimicking the characters, and then I'm giving him direction, telling him to copy me. So I'm busy editing the scene in my head, so it looks like he's hitting all these comedy beats. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, now pull this face, now pull that face. Okay, now I've got this reaction, I've got that reaction, and it's meant to be offbeat, and it's meant to be, the faces that he pulls is meant to be abstract to, he's an alien. So and that's why I couldn't give Gary, because he hasn't trained, I couldn't give Gary dialogue, and that's why when I thought of the film, I molded the whole movie around him with a certain character, certain story that would work. And I knew that's why when I thought of the idea, I was like, oh my God, this is like perfect. This is going to work. And then I was like, even when he does speak, and he says the odd line, even if it sounds weird, it doesn't matter. He's a fucking alien. So it doesn't matter. So, and Gary did a great job. He gave 120% every time. Always wanted to do another take. I'll be like, Gary, like, I got the take. Like, it's all right. And he's like, nope, I'll do it again. And I'm like, no, like we got it. So, but yeah, he was amazing. And I love characters, and Gary's got that very unique, amazing look. He's just got that presence, and I love that. And nobody else could have played this part. So even though he wasn't free to do like what he wanted, and I had to work very close with him, I still got to take my hat off to Gary, because he did it so well, and he gave 120%, and he was just key. I had a big talk with him at the beginning, before we started filming, and I said, like, Gary, if you listen very closely to me and we do exactly what I say and this and this and this, then I promise you, like, people are gonna love you. Like, I promise you, don't feel intimidated by all these other actors that are playing small roles when they're actually some of them are quite big actors in South Africa. And I was like, just do what I say and everything, and I promise you, like, people will love you. And he was just so cool, and he was just so down to do it. I mean, even when I was telling him the idea, he said, okay, cool. There's just one thing. I won't go naked. And then I was like, well, that's the thing. So there is that's the thing. So there is this, there is this, there's like a few scenes, Gary, that we're going to need to do this. And he was like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna have to do it. I'm like, yeah, dude, close set, like, don't worry about it. Like, it's all gonna be good and all this. And then, when we did the alien impregnation scene, it was so funny because, like I said, he didn't know what we were doing until we were doing it. So he knew. I did briefly tell him that it's going to be this scene. And then what happened was, on the day I explained to both of them, okay, this is what's going to happen, and you're just going to have your pants down, and this and this and this, and it was like, cool. So when we were setting up the scene, and the cameras pointed at the bed and everything, and we're just busy putting the lights up and stuff, and then my DP Gareth Place, he was like, right, I was like, what the hell's Gary doing? I'm like, and I look over, Gary's completely naked with no clothes on whatsoever. And he's like this, he's standing there and he's looking down, he's trying to, we gave him like a sock,
Yeah, the sock, yeah.
So he's like this, like fiddling around, and then I go up to Gary and I look around, because everybody's just like putting up lights and he's just like completely naked. So I go up to him and I'm like, Gary, like, what the fuck are you doing? Why, like, and I can't help looking what he's doing down here. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, well, and I was like, what about your balls? And I go, no, the balls are okay. And I'm like, we don't want to see your balls. I was like, just like cover everything up. And then I was like, why are you naked? And he goes, I'm not naked in the scene. I'm like, no. And he goes, oh, so like he picked up all his shit and then he went to the changing room. So it was just so random. And I was like, no, I told you before, you just got your pants down. So I was like,
oh man.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing with Gary. It's like, so it was fun because I mean, my producer would laugh at me. Like, I've got a good relationship with Gary, and people that don't know him, will be like, "Oh, that guy looks like a killer, and he looks like this and all that." But I mean, he's such a nice guy, and he's super cool, and I get him. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't get him. And like, I spend we go to the gym every day now. Like me and Gary, this is our 11th week at the gym.
Oh, I love it.
So we just go every day. So he's almost like he's almost like my best friend, because we're always going to gym together, which is quite funny as well, seeing Gary at the gym. I mean, the other day he was doing these weights and he was doing this thing and he was just looking in the window, but he had in the mirror, but he had no he wasn't holding any weights. So like I was doing my set and he was standing there looking in the mirror doing this. I was like, Gary, what are you doing? Like, you just look like a pigeon that's trying to like take off. Like, what are you doing? That's so funny. Yeah.
I got a lot of requests here. Number one, I was going to say, you know what? We need the behind the scenes of the film, but then I scratched that. We just need the vlog of you two daily now.
Yeah.
We want to see more of you two's lives together.
Yeah. I've thought of this so many times because Gary doesn't do any interviews. He's like very he's very much like that. But it's cool. I think it gives him a bit more like street cred. He's this mystery. I
would say too, it definitely adds to his, mysterious.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, I like that. I like that idea a lot. Mm-hmm. The mystery and the intrigue. I mean, that ultimately brings up the real elephant in the room now. Yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen the film by now, folks, then you should go check it out. It is available on Shudder, and this film was amazing. And while you said we kind of went up and down with emotions, and even at the end, we felt a little something in our hearts until we heard a little thump hit the ground.
Damn it!
So then, Mr. Ryan, what could we possibly be expecting from you next in future projects, or could we see the film that I'm going to just title right now, The Return of Barry?
Oh God!
Well, if The Return of Barry, if I did do a second Fried Barry, it would be called Deep Fried Barry.
Extra crispy.
Extra crispy Deep Fried Barry.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect name for it. I've had it for a while. I'm like, it's got to be called Deep Fried Barry. Got
to be.
You just got to make it more crazier than the last one.
Yeah.
So I have to see what a lot of people have mentioned so far. So we have to see what all the fans say and everything. But before I do that film, I will do another film before that for sure. And it's one of those. Sometimes maybe it's good just to leave it as it is and not do another one. But there's at the same time, it's I don't know. It's one of those things. Like the other thing is like when I make my next film, I also want to make also a bit of a different style of a film as well. Still have my style and everything to it, but just to show that I can do this and I also can do that. So I think that's important and that's why I say Fried Barry in every aspect is designed to be the way it looks, the way it feels, the editing, the cinematography, the music, everything. It's like it's all designed to be how it is. That was the complete design of the movie, and I think me and my crew and everybody, we all nailed that. And I had an amazing crew to work with and a lot of great friends. It was a bunch of friends making a movie, so it was a lot of fun. Even though I shouted at Gary like a lot of times, but that's just like me and Gary. Like how I talk, like my producer would laugh a lot. I'll be like, Gary, what the fuck you doing, man? So, and that's just how we are. And he knows I'm not shouting at him. I was just like, I told you to do this, and then he was like, I thought that would be cool. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But he's cool. He's funny.
you make sure tomorrow when you hit the gym, you give Gary our love and support and our appreciation for this project. And tell him, or should I tell you, be easy on him because we want to make sure that he wants to work with you in the future, nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely.
But whatever your next project is, we'll have our eyes glued. And for everybody, again, who hasn't had a chance, definitely, if you don't already have the Shudder app, get the Shudder app, number one. But check out the new film, Fried Berry. Is an experience. And much like we say in our review, if you're under 16, then you probably not even watching my channel in the first place. But if you are somehow, you probably should just skip everything we're talked about today, unless your parents are just like, hell with it, we'll let you watch this, then cool, good for you. But if not, seriously, people that's looking for just a really fun, bizarre, tons of laughs, something to kick back with your friends and just be mind blown about the crazy direction and truly the experience, the true authentic experience of South Africa. Check out Fried Berry. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I mean, it's South Africa and Hawaii. It's like right there. It's an entertaining film. Ryan worked really hard on this film, and we're thankful to have a chance to talk to you about it. This was absolutely fun. We're looking forward to more things, and again, nod to Shudder again for bringing a very unique.
Yeah, thanks again to Shudder. Yeah, they're great. They're great. I'm super happy to.
Yes, and I know they're very high on this film. It did really successful on Twitter, and at this rate now, the sky's the limit, man. You got to keep going. We're going to need more, and I appreciate what you brought to this film. And by the way, I didn't really get to say it, but like considering you having a music video background, I super love the club scene. I was really high on that scene because, like I said, sometimes when people have club scenes, it doesn't even feel like you're in the club. But I mean, I was out of my seat like, I'm trying to party with Barry. So like, when can I get my flight? I will be down there in a heartbeat.
Even the dude that was standing next to Barry, the guy who's just trying to talk to him.
Yeah.
We've all been in that situation.
Yes, exactly.
In the club and somebody's talking and you can't even hear them. So going,
exactly.
Like you can't. You're just getting the odd word. We've all been in that situation.
You went on the lighter side of that because that happens in the stall to me at times. It's like, dude, like, can't hear you and I'm busy. Like, please. But I definitely appreciated like Barry's mannerisms in that. He's just like, okay, I'm gone.
Been there, Barry.
But yes, again, folks, this is Ryan Kruger, the director of that film. Show him some love. Check out the film. Drop him. He's on all social media. Show him your support of this film, and let's rally him to we can get the next project. So, Ryan, thank you so much for taking time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on, man. You guys were great.
Not a problem.
I loved your guys' other videos, so it was great to meet you guys and chat with you. So it was a lot of fun. So thanks so much.
I appreciate it so much. And for folks watching, thank you for tuning in. Jump in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the film thus far. And any questions you got for Ryan, drop them down there. We'll make sure we'll get them over to him. But on that note, thank you for tuning in, folks. And we'll see you around for our next review and interview.
Oh, cheers. Thanks.